This episode is sponsored by Grade Toad Tallow, pure and natural nourishment for all skin types. Well, Bright Hearthers, thanks for joining us for another week here. We have a really fun and special episode for you, taking a break from our normal series that we've been working through to welcome a special guest, friend of the show, Joe Garrisi of Backward Planning Financial. And in this episode, we are going to give you a fire hose of incredibly helpful information on everything from investment, financial planning, looking at risk, thinking about your own financial goals, and also hearing about how does your financial planner make a living? Who should you trust on these issues? And we really trust Joe here and have for some time. So we hope that this is helpful for you. As always, if you have questions, make sure you send those in to us using that send us a text button that's there in the podcast description. And if we get enough of them following up on this episode, I'm sure we'll be able to do another one at some point to take those questions up. But enjoy this episode. We hope it's a big help to you. And now on with the show. Well, welcome everybody to this special episode of Bright Hearth. And like you heard in that cold open there, we are joined by a very special guest and a longtime friend of New Christendom Press, Bright Hearth, Lexy and I personally, Mr. Joe Garrisi. Joe Garrisi, say hi to the Bright Hearthers.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's good to be in person.
Yes.
We've done recordings, but not in person.
It's so much better in person.
Yes.
There's always the lag in the video thing, and it's just like, we gotta have Joe Garrisi here in person. We gotta have him in the studio.
Awesome.
Hey, and if you didn't get the memo, you can actually watch this episode. Usually Bright Hearth is just audio, but this is going to be it's always on my YouTube channel, but most of the videos are just like a little title thing and then a thumbnail and there's the audio. But this one, Joe's with us in studio, so you can go watch that on my YouTube. If you want to see how handsome we both are, then you can do that. So really, really excited for this episode. It's funny, Bright Hearth, we're all about productive Christian household and good marriages, parenting, all that stuff. But some of the episodes that are always we get the most positive feedback, the most helpful are like two things. One of them is anything to do with like home safety, protecting the home and that sort of thing. And then anything to do with financial management and the budget and investing and that sort of thing, which is why we're so glad to have you here, because you are a financial management, investment, getting your financial house in order guy.
Yes.
And
that's
we
what
are
I love.
stoked. Yes.
Yes.
So if you've ever heard us talk about backwards planning financial, that is Mr. Joe Garrisi. He is Joe Backwards Planning Financial Garrisi. So first, Joe, I just wanted to ask if you might be willing to just share your story a little bit so people can know who you are.
Sure.
And your testimony. Obviously, you're not a pagan financial planner here, just trying to earn some shekels with from Bright Hearth. You're a Christian with a Christian business, and I think people would want to just know where you're coming from, your testimony, and all that.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Really quick, there was an episode a long time ago about home safety that I loved, that I changed some of the things in my house.
Really?
Because that was great.
Josh Adams?
Yes.
Yes. The gun cabinet.
Yes.
That episode is still one of our most listened to of all time, along with actually some of the times we've had with you via that phone call.
They've been great.
But very, very thankful.
Let me actually, if you allow me to rabbit trail for a quick second, How did I get connected? I get asked this.
Yeah.
How did I get connected to NCP? So right after COVID crazy, we had left our PCA church. Lydia and I did not take the vax. Lydia and I did not wear the mask, and it was highly encouraged for us. They had a lot of Hillsong music, and after about 10 hours of conversation with the elders, we decided to quietly say no thank you and leave. And so feeling kind of like an island in Florida, is there anybody else weird like us? And then Andrew Torba, who my wife pays more attention to, has the time to, Andrew Torba introduced and promoted a King's Hall episode about money.
Yeah.
She listened to it and she said, Joe, you got to hear this. There's other weirdos like us.
Let's go.
So I went and listened to it and I'm like, this is awesome. We went to the beginning and just devoured that. And so the Lord has blessed our business. And so I called up Dan and said, hey, I just wanted to help support you guys. I want to support like-minded people. Are you guys a 501c3? And he goes, kind of. And I'm like, you don't know who I am? That's the wrong answer. what I found out is that you were in the midst of deciding, kind of halfway into it. So it really was a true answer. But, and so that meant to be 2 minutes was like a 2 hour long conversation.
Yep.
And at the end, he said, hey, you've taught me stuff about taxes I didn't know. How about coming on?
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So you never know what little phone calls will happen.
Yeah, so cool.
It's awesome. Okay, so I grew up in San Diego and Los Angeles. My dad was an OPC minister. That's what I remember. He founded an OPC church in Bonita, California, which is one town north of Chula Vista, South San Diego. Like I could see Tijuana from my house at night, see the lights. Okay, so I remember finding a peso piece in my backyard. You know, you don't just drop peso pieces.
Yeah.
So it was back when there was farm country there. It's now all houses and et cetera. But I grew up next to a cattle ranch out there. So my grandfather, who I'm named after, Dr. Joe Garrisi, was on the board of Westminster Escondido.
Wow.
Before Bob Godfrey. If you know what happened with Bob Godfrey and R2K, et cetera, he was on the board there and died many, many years ago.
Yeah.
But so I have, my dad was a pastor in the OPC. My grandfather was on the board. Like there's a lot of people in Southern California that knew the name Garrisi. Actually, my dad was the chairman of the credentials committee for the Southern California OPC Presbytery.
Yeah.
So I grew up with a lot of different pastors and elders, and I went to school with John Frame's adopted son. So all kinds of interesting connections. Joy Pipa's daughter, Sarah, I went to school with her. The Pipas and the Garrisis are multi-generational friends. So I have a lot of connections in the OPC growing up. I don't know a time when I wasn't a Christian.
Yeah. Yeah. We love that answer.
So, boring.
So cool.
But it's pretty cool. I'm blessed to have that. So parents are still married, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
Grandparents, married their entire lives and et cetera. So I have multi-generational, solid background in the family experience. Yeah. Wonderful blessing. I grew up one town north of the Chula Vista or the Bayview OPC. That's happened to be where Greg Bonson was an elder in the OPC.
Wow.
And when my dad's church founded, we needed extra elders, right? Didn't have enough when you're a baby church. They provided the extra elders, type of thing. So I knew the Bonson family growing up and et cetera. So interesting, weird connections.
Wild connections.
Yeah.
And so cool to be able to look back over several generations of just like faithful, hey, we were a Presbyterian family. Yep. The game plan that all of our Bright Hearth listeners are going, that's what I want to do. Maybe a lot of them didn't receive it themselves, but they say, that's the thing I want to pass on to my kids.
Yeah.
My parents were always Christians. I don't even remember when obviously I needed my own inward faith, and I don't remember the moment that was implanted in my heart, but it was just, there it was from the earliest memories. So praise God. That's really cool.
Sorry. So I grew up there in the Ammel family. I was taught amillennialism, taught really, speak highfalutin philosophy and theology. My dad taught philosophy also as a side job in a local school and theology. So yes, we talked theology in big fancy or $1.25 words and et cetera. But the application, not so much.
Yeah, sure.
Really short application. My dad was a fighter in the presbytery, not go with the status quo.
Yeah.
So he was one of those in a good way. But there's just wave of just do what your elders say, and this R2K stuff just came through in a wave. And now in the OPC, there's not a Garrisi.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
What a tragedy.
Yes.
To lose such like that family legacy, and then to see that battle. And for those who aren't familiar, this R2K stuff, it's kind of like the worst form of pietism where you just, it lets cordon off the faith from earthly life, and let's operate there according to secular principles. And then, of course, like the faith has to do with our doctrine, but never shall the twain touch. And I'm only slightly overstating it when I say that. I mean, and I wish, if at all, I wish that I wasn't, but what a bummer.
Yes. So I was not, the rest of my family and Lydia's family, none of the rest of us besides Lydia and I are really aggressive, work in the family type people, stay in the family, grow the family. It's really just individualistic in how everybody is. Hey, we get together for church, and then the rest of the time, you just do what you want with who you want.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up and were taught with that love of each other, your siblings, and this is your God-given team.
Yeah.
You know, how to grow that long-term and multi-generational team that God gave you. We've come to love that idea.
Yeah.
But so now we try to help people learn, hey, God gave you a team. He chose the team. How can we grow that? And so also, how do we do it in our church family?
Yeah. Yeah.
So unfortunately, we don't have that now growing up. You know, we're relational with siblings and parents and et cetera. But, and so Lydia grew up on the mission field with Wycliffe missionaries.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. We met in college. Okay. So you guys talk about cultural differences and et cetera. One that I haven't heard you talk, I haven't listened to 100% of what you guys say. 98%. Here's an interesting culture, is missionary culture. Because it's not based on where they are. They have their own unique, funky culture. And when Lydia came back to the States and we met, she was having culture shock.
Yeah.
And then so she grew up in an anti-gun, anti-sharp, you know, divisions are not good. You don't want anything. And then she goes and dates this like hyper right-wing, pro-gun, machine gun loving. One of the things that I took her to when we were first married is a full day, full Uzi submachine gun training. Like, let's go.
I mean, why not?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's start with the basics.
That's right.
Like dinner, a movie, full auto machine gun fire,
cyclic rate control,
just your normal stuff. You know, normal couple stuff.
So I converted her in Texas, in the church we went to in Texas when we lived there, had its own dove hunt, church dove hunt, because one of the elders was dumb wealthy, had his own land, and I took her, and she enjoyed it so much she wanted her own shotgun.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a 12 gauge pump, a little much for her.
Yeah.
And so I got her a 20 gauge semi-automatic, and now she has her own dove that she shot, and we've eaten. And so I've converted her to the dark side.
Fully. That's amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. One of my personal philosophies about guns in the house is I don't want a gun in the house unless she can pick it up and shoot it.
Yeah.
So I don't have like a 10 millimeter. Like that's too much to hurt her hand.
Yeah.
So if she's got to go, oh, I can't use that one. Sorry, bad guy. I got to go get this one over here.
Let me select.
No.
Yeah.
That's not good. So I can't be home all day. So she has to be able to use stuff.
Oh, I love it.
Building productive households calls for the work of your hands, whether you're gardening, caring for chickens, or simply going on adventures with your family. Life tends to leave its mark in the form of dry hands, chapped lips, and rough skin. That's why Gray Toad Tallow creates simple tallow-based skincare products. They specialize in whipped tallow as well as face, pit, and lip balms, all made in their home by their family, for your home and your family. Visit graytoadtallow.com and try a sample pack. And use code BRIGHT15, that's BRIGHT15, for 15% off your order.
A husband protects and provides for his family. He leads and works to grow legacy while praying earnestly for it and hedging against short-term calamities. Is your family prepared? Is the estate in order? Do you have the right life insurance in place?
These aren't things you want to figure out in a moment of grief. That's why Brian and I trust Backwards Planning Financial. Joe Garrisi helped us build a plan for our family, so while we grow, we're also ready in case something were to happen. He does the same for many other Christian households and can include biblically responsible investing. Find him at backwardsplanningfinancial.com or call 615-767-2555.
Backwards Planning Financial is a DBA of Inspired Investors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. This content is for informational purposes only and is not investment, tax, legal, or insurance advice. Testimonials are not representative of all client experiences and do not guarantee future results. You know how they say they don't make things like they used to? Well, now we do. Edwin's Heirlooms is a family-run business that provides handmade wooden toys for all ages. From stick horses and push-pull toys to tabletop board games for the whole family, all crafted from sturdy materials that ensure heirloom quality and a vintage feel. They're aiming to bring back nostalgia and imagination to the things we play with. When you buy Edwin's Heirlooms, you buy love handed down. Explore the full catalog at edwinsheirlooms.com and use code HEARTH, all caps HEARTH, for 10% off your order.
So, okay, let me go into my notes here for a second. So I grew up poor. Like my dad was a pastor of a church, starting church. Like a really good Sunday would be 100 people attending. Really good. That would be like wild and boisterous. But the tithing, so they didn't have enough people to do work. And so I actually helped with the collections and running of the money behind the scenes as like a 12-year-old kid.
Wow.
Okay. So I saw who tithed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't many.
Yeah. Oh my word.
So
the 12-year-old
is interesting.
That's wild.
There was nobody else to help. The other men would not step up. My dad was constantly, please, we need help.
Yeah.
But hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Next one up.
Yes.
And you were up.
That's up.
Yep. Wow.
So it was interesting learning about money and people and their attachment to it. And so my dad worked full time as a pastor, preached Sunday morning, did Sunday school, preached Sunday evening, ran Wednesday night Bible study, like all of that. And then I had to do another full-time job because didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
So you can see that not a lot of time at home.
Yep.
Right? But
Very difficult.
So, yeah.
Huge load.
Yes. Too much of a load type thing.
Yeah.
Emotionally, financially stressed, and et cetera.
Yeah.
Although we were homeschooled back when, so try to imagine this, homeschoolers, no internet for research,
Insane.
nobody else doing homeschooling.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
That is, I have never even thought about that, which is strange.
Is wild.
But that is a completely different proposition. We have it so easy today in some ways for just figuring it out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then also there was truant police officers. So we went to go play outside. You had to do it in the backyard.
Yeah. Because they'd arrest you.
Yes.
The homeschoolers are getting brought down to the station for questioning. Like, no, we learn at home. They're like, yeah, I've heard that one before, kid.
Right.
Yeah, get in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're fighting. You're trying not to get kidnapped by the police. You're a 12-year-old financial deacon at the church, and that's your upbringing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Life is interesting.
Life is interesting
Yeah.
indeed.
Church was so small, I had no male friends. Type of thing. There was a couple girls in the church for Ruth, my sister, to be friends with, but the nearest boy was like 5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And when you're a boy, but you're like,
That's a pretty big gap. Yeah. Wow.
So I learned to be kind of a lone wolf type from the beginning. Type just had to by necessity type.
But I imagine you from that, you're starting to see some of the importance of money.
Yeah.
And what it does to a family when it's not there.
Yes.
And even to a church when the church is not healthy in its relationship to their own budgets and how that relates to the household of faith.
Yes. Yeah.
The
leaders of the family, right? Husbands of the family need to lead in how the money is being spent. Right. It's so important. And then one of the big pet peeves, understanding I've come about how the world works really came through that, but also through my time in the military. So I was an armor officer. I was blessed to go to scout school. I went to scout school right after our officer basic, which there was about 100 students. 10 of them second lieutenant. So I was a second lieutenant going right in. Everybody else had experience in the military, coming in with years of experience to go through scout school. In the armor world, that's like ranger school for the armor. It's not as tough as long as ranger school, but it's crazy. And all of the second lieutenants, I was the only one that passed.
Wow.
So 10 of us, 90% failure rate at my time. So
that's insane.
It's crazy. Like, we can talk long about, it was hard, it was difficult, and I passed on the last day. Like, kept going, finally passed it the last day. But what I learned also, when you don't sleep for a week, literally, except for 1 hour a day, so you don't go literally crazy. You come back, you can't just sleep. You got to have a few hours, and you wake up and do things. You got to have a few hours to like get back into the ability to sleep.
That
is weird.
That's what I feel like coming out of First of Stolen Valor. That's what I feel like coming out of the conference week.
There you go.
Okay, not really.
Or
not
Martin.
Really. Not
Right,
really.
sleep 2 hours.
Yeah, right. Our Thursday night setup crew's feeling that. Wow. So you came out of that, and then what was next for you guys?
Yeah. So I went to Covenant College, is where I met Lydia, and that was starting even at that time to really be woke. Didn't know that terminology then, didn't understand what that was, but they did not teach father rule. They did not teach men should lead. Good leadership, not hyper patriarchy, right? You can always take anything and make it bad.
Sure.
But they did not teach that well. And if I look at the vast majority of people that I went to school with there at Covenant, how about the short answer? They vote Democrat. There's the short answer. In the leadership there, that's what they promote. They bring in ladies to teach theological lessons to all of them right now. Okay?
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is not in the notes.
But it's true.
How I got exposed into finance. One, the financial deacon of the church, that's one thing. When I was 17, went to a new school. So Christian school and homeschool combination is how I grew up. Did not know how to make friends. Absolutely, because I was a lone, young boy with lack of confidence, like extreme lack of confidence. People don't believe me when I say I was shy. Absolutely, super shy back then. On the athletic field, no problem. Loved it. That's where I was allowed to go and explore and have fun. But my first day of my senior year, my grandfather died on my mom's side. When I say stupid wealthy, like my inheritance in today's dollars would be multiple seven figures.
Wow.
Back when I was 17.
Yeah.
And I had roughly 20 cousins.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus parents.
Wow.
Like dumb money.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So my grandma died when I was 2. So I didn't know my grandma. My grandfather remarried years later to a lady who had kids.
Yeah.
Okay. And when we were leaving the hospital, this is back when you could go to the hospital and have a bunch of people and be around people, actually love on folks.
Yeah.
We were leaving the hospital. My grandfather died. My step grandma said, "Hey, if you need to talk to me, get a hold of my lawyer." And we're like, "I don't understand. Like your grandma. What do you mean talk to your lawyer?" She had finagled the estate plan, so she was in control of all the distribution. Guess how much has been distributed?
Wow.
So she's still around, chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my introduction to money changes people. You think you love them. Careful.
That is insane. If you're listening, Grandma, you got to repent. You've got to repent. That is wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So money changes people.
Yep.
People don't like to tithe and honor God. Bible says you should. And one of the only test that I know of that God says over and over and over and over in the Bible, do not test me.
Yep.
Okay, except for one time. He does say to test him. In tithing, test him. How much is he going to bless you?
Yeah.
Right? Tithe on that. Now, it's not you put money in and you get your money back. That's, prosperity gospel. That's not what he's talking about. But it's the one time we can test God is how we use our money.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because we talk a lot in church. I mean, I've preached before. Money is this strange thing where it's almost the reason that the New Testament can say that money is, a root there of all sorts of evil is that money can represent in a way anything.
Yes.
Anything your heart might desire.
Yes.
It's not really true. Money can't actually get you anything your heart desires, but it really does seem like it can.
Right.
And it really does promise that.
It feels like it.
And so it's just a wildly dangerous thing.
Yes.
It's very important.
Yes.
But wildly dangerous. So you see why God might say something like that when it comes to your wealth and with your finances.
Absolutely. It is the second most talked about subject in the Bible. Sin and then money.
Wow.
So God places obviously importance on it by just the volume that he places in his word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I go back into young married life, we were in college. We went so I could finish. My wife has her PhD degree, putting hubby through. Okay. So she had to go to work for a little bit so I could finish. So I worked and Scholastic because we came from broke families and we're launching and they're like, all right, go do it. And how do we survive this thing? So we were there and we were in a college apartments where all married folks going to college. We're all straight up broke.
Yeah.
When I say I could not afford a soda, I could not afford a soda. Okay. Like
literally. Yeah.
And the chair in my house, we found that someone threw away on the side of the street, a chair.
Listeners, have you ever been that broke? Let us know in the comments because that is another level. We found, and then did you have to share the chair? Only one of us can.
It actually was kind of a tilty, so you had to kind of slide into it.
I mean, there was a reason they were throwing it away.
That's right.
That's wild. Do you still have the chair?
Oh, no.
Okay, dang it. That's too bad. That's too bad. A little reminder there.
Yes.
So wildly broke,
but super loved life. We're not sad and depressed.
Yeah.
Everybody else around you is broke, and you're like, well, there's no shaming of, hey, you want to go out to eat with us? I can't go out to eat. No, let's come over. We'll play cards or just play board games or talk or have fun. No one had money, so no one cared.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. So it's a principle that Lydia and I take to now when we know that people are not doing well off.
Yeah.
We do not invite them to expensive events and make them feel bad.
Yep.
Or have guilt into spending money they shouldn't spend.
Yep.
Invite them over to your house, provide the food, and have a good time.
Yeah.
So it's something that we've learned now on, because the way that we weren't approached when we were living in Texas, we got invited out to eat all the time. And it was, I can't. I'm sorry. I want to do things with you, but we're going to go out. See ya.
Don't want to be awkward here, but.
Right.
Nope.
I really didn't afford the gas to drive to church, but we still did it.
Yeah.
So we've actually had many years of poverty level type of crazy stuff. But faithfulness in that, and Lord's blessing us now.
Yeah. Praise God.
Yeah. Okay. So, backwards planning financial really came from getting interested in the investment world.
Yeah.
Because the way I was treated, and that I simply wanted to learn about this because I wanted to have my family not treated the same way.
Yep.
So I went to the military, and then I went and ran a manufacturing floor. And so on my free time, I'm reading books about taxes. I'm reading books about investing. I'm reading the driest things on earth that you can imagine. And people think that you're reading that for fun. I'm like, actually, yeah.
That does sound truly miserable. I won't lie to you. On taxes. I'm reading about taxes. Yeah. I try to think as little about taxes as possible, which is why I'm glad people like you exist. That God made Joe Garrisi's in the world. So thank you for that. Thanks for falling on that grenade.
You got that.
Whew. Yeah.
So speaking of military, there's a grenade drill when you're in ROTC, right? An instructor will throw out a grenade, and you have to jump on top of it and be the first one to protect everybody else.
Yeah. Oh man, and that was tax books. That was training for the tax books.
There you go.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild, man.
So when I was in Texas, one of the elder, I think it was an elder of the church, was going into the financial world, and he introduced me more to actually working in it.
Yeah.
And he was wanting to do biblical investing, and he was all about the Timothy plan. And I was researching about this whole company called the Timothy plan. They have mutual funds and et cetera. And as I've learned more and more, here's the short version: horrific rate of return, super high expenses. How's that sound?
That sounds like
delicious.
It sounds like a Christian investment firm. Yeah. Unfortunately, that sounds like a Christian investment firm.
Yeah, and it's part of another of my emphasis, pet peeves, whatever you want to call it, is Christians need to be excellent in what they do. I don't care what they're doing.
Yeah.
Part of the Christian history, if you go back to when we immigrated over from Europe, is Christians used to be known as the best at what they do. If you got the chance to hire a Christian, you had a winner.
Yeah.
Not today. We need to redeem that one at a time.
Amen.
A type. So backwards planning comes from my time in the military. I did armor officer, jumped out of airplanes. That was fun. That was easy, by the way.
That sounds like fun.
It was fun. As long as you're in shape and you could run and et cetera. And if you're not in shape, what are you doing?
I shouldn't be in the military.
No, especially not in the combat arms side type of thing. Some interesting vernacular in the military. There's a term called a pogue. Okay, people other than grunt is what it stands for. So you have your combat troops and your pogues.
Yeah.
Right, that's the derogatory term. You don't want to be a pogue. That type of thing. So there is a different class, right? There's always classes everywhere we go.
Yep.
Right. There's some class in the military.
Yeah.
You have your combat arms and your pogues.
That's one of the least offensive acronyms I've heard to describe the hierarchies in the military. Just by the way, I can't say in the other ones I know actually because they're so. Yeah. Anyway.
So I went into military intelligence. Okay. And what I had to do in military intelligence world is I had to study what the enemy was going to do and knew exactly what they were going to do before they did it. So I then could inform the commander of the combat unit what they were going to do. So he then could go and counter that and win.
Yeah.
Right. So you had to think way into the future and then bring it back to today.
You had a backward plan.
Yeah. That's a straight up military term. So when I chose that name of my company, because I have a decent amount of military clients.
Yeah.
And they understand that when you hear backwards planning, they get it right away.
They know exactly what you mean.
Yes. Yes. When I went to compliance with that term, hey, I want to name my company backwards planning, I got some feedback. Like, we're not backwards here. What are you talking about? And I really had to educate them.
That's funny.
Hey, we're actually trying to think of the future. What's best for the future versus just, hey, what's a nice product? This is a happy product and that's a happy product.
Yeah.
That's used car salesman stuff. Type. So yes, we got it approved, but it took some work.
Yeah.
So also, if you read the book of Ecclesiastes, right? If you just read it from front to back, it's the most depressing book you've ever read. Right? But if you then go, oh, where are we going?
Yeah.
Where are we ending up? Therefore, what should we be doing today?
Yeah.
That's just backwards planning.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the name came originally from my military intelligence time.
Yeah.
But it absolutely is from the book of Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, it makes total sense that the wise man in ordering his house and ruling well requires looking ahead, getting some compass bearing, and then that's how you figure out what to do today. If you're a good ruler,
correct,
you have to know where you're going and plan backwards. You can't just react like an amoeba to stimuli for your whole life, and then you will end up somewhere.
Sure.
And God is very kind often to us, more than we deserve, obviously, but far better, obviously, to be a man of wisdom who plans. So for you, backwards planning, how does that, I mean, just thinking of the essential components of financial life management, how do those come together in the name and the strategy? Have you wanted to add a language class like French to your homeschool curriculum, but found that Duolingo and other DIY language programs just haven't worked for your family? French with Madam Lee offers Christian homeschool families a beautiful living approach to learning French. Taught through a Charlotte Mason perspective, these courses immerse children in the language through art, music, culture, and even scripture. The self-paced format makes it easy to fit French into your homeschool day, and moms can learn right alongside their children. Visit FrenchWithMadamLee.com/Hearth and use code Hearth, all caps, to receive an additional 10% off.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home anywhere in Northern California, Jeff Massey is your guy, a California Realtor serving families with honest guidance and personal service. And if you're outside his service area, he will be happy to connect you with a trusted Christian real estate professional through his nationwide referral network, so you'll have someone who shares your values wherever you go. You can reach him directly at 209-768-7775 or jeff.massey@kw.com. Jeff Massey, Department of Real Estate License 020-50489. Brian, I've been using this new Bible app that lets me use tabs to browse multiple scriptures at once.
Aren't most Bible apps built for surface level reading and cluttered with daily devotionals and all sorts of distractions?
Bible One is designed for more serious readers. They've stripped away the distractions to give you a clean, offline experience focused entirely on scripture. You can open multiple tabs and follow cross-references easily with the back button.
Man, I just went to BibleOneApp.com and I'm seeing this is 100% free. It doesn't require a sign up and contains 0 ads. Man, everybody should search for Bible One in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
Yeah. So when I have initial conversations with folks, 99% of the time, folks do not have well-defined goals. Oh yeah, we would like to give money away, or yes, we would like to be financially free, or yes, we would like to retire, or but what does that mean?
Yep.
So they don't have an actual well-defined goal. So it's actually, hey, let's dive into that goal, and that actually is multi-meetings.
Yeah.
Because if you just focus on that, people's heads explode.
Yeah.
But it's starting to develop well-defined goals for them. Hey, you want to give an inheritance? Great. When? How? To whom? In what way?
Yep.
So what are the goals that people are trying to accomplish? That's really where I like to start. Not everybody wants to start there.
Yeah.
Some people pigeonhole me into, Joe, I want to talk about this thing. No problem.
Yeah.
But so really, how can we develop goals?
Yeah.
That's where we start. And then what are the contingencies that can go wrong that we can't control?
Yeah.
Okay. So if average standard retirement, the way that I define that for folks is not that we stop working. We're called to be productive.
Yeah.
Just because you're 65, 70, 80, you're here on earth. God has you here for a reason.
Right.
So we have to be productive in some way. But the way I define retirement is the work we're doing no longer needs to yield an income. I say needs because sometimes it does.
Yeah.
But it no longer needs to, or financial freedom from grinding and having to earn an income from your labor.
Yeah.
Okay. I have one of my clients that's an exec at an S&P 500 company, strong Christian man.
Yeah.
He's like, he has all the assets he needs to retire. And he's like, Joe, I want to go and help the church. And he came to me and said, well, I can go and take my time and go work at the church and give my 30 to 60 hours a week at the church, or I can make my dumb salary and give all kinds of money away. Well, a lot of Joe Blows can go and spend their time there, but very few people can earn silly money and be able to help the church that way. So he's doing that.
Yeah.
So retirement doesn't mean stop earning an income.
Yep.
But now it's free to choose.
Right.
So helping people understand what is a good biblical definition of retirement. And then what is a good way to help inheritances.
Yeah.
This is a new concept that I'm constantly helping folks understand.
Yeah.
Inheritance doesn't mean, okay, when you're 80 years old and die and your kids are 60 and don't need money anymore, you shouldn't need money at 60, I hope. Then here's some inheritance, and then they go, okay, they keep it until they're 80, and then their kids till they're 60, and we have this revolving money that helps no one.
Yep. What a it's so funny, but that is how it so often works. Yes. Unless grandma gets involved and then she finagles and then nobody gets anything. Yeah.
Yes.
Grandma, come on. Come on, grandma. I'm still stuck on grandma. I'm like, let's backward plan grandma.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, you're right.
No, or trips. It's like, really? Well, we're going to bless the family by taking them all on a trip. Okay, that's nice. But when you're young and starving and broke like I was, you don't need a trip.
Like, I would like to house
some money.
The funny thing is, you look at the challenges facing young people today, home ownership, like the things that prevent them from having children.
Yep.
Or they're having children, but it's much harder than it needs to be.
Yes.
Because the opportunity is not there.
Yes.
For them to, even in comparison to some previous generations, the opportunity is harder or less available.
Yes.
To support well. So how great would it be if your mom and dad had a plan that was more holistic in its thought of inheritance? What does it mean to inherit? It's for the children's children, and wow, that means something. And so I think that's a really good point, important piece for people to be thinking through.
Yes, and it starts with your eschatology. I know I'm really plugging that area, but
sure.
If you have eschatology that is escapism, and I was told earlier, well, Christ is coming back next week. I was told this yesterday. Okay, Christ is coming back next week. So it doesn't matter what you do with your money.
Money's pretty unimportant. The credit card bill is actually not even important.
Right.
I'm going out to, the steakhouse with hey, everybody, he's coming back next week. It's on me.
Yes. So we want to have goals. And then also, how do you want to use assets? So let's pick retirement in the biblical definition.
Yeah.
So let's age 60 for a number. Okay. What do you want to do to have income at that time?
Yeah.
So there's terms called decumulation plan or spending plan or income plan, but you've got to have assets to yield income to live on.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want the assets to look like at that time? Fast forward yourself to then, whether it be stock market assets or real estate or gold or a chicken ranch or, I don't care. What do you want it to look like then?
Yep.
And think through the taxes and think through the crashes and what are the contingencies that can go wrong then.
Yeah.
There's an analogy like I use with my clients is most people that are mountain climbers spend their time studying how to climb the mountain, real, up sheer cliff mountains.
Yeah.
They don't spend the time how to get down, and that's where most of the mistakes are made. And the same thing with finance.
Yeah.
From retirement to death, that multi-decade time is where most of the mistakes are made, and people think they're on cruise control. That's not true.
Interesting. Okay. I hadn't even...
Yes.
It's far enough ahead that it's hard to think that.
It is.
To the backwards planning point.
Right.
It's actually really hard to get in that mindset.
It is.
Because your problems are so immediate.
Yes.
That it's helpful to have someone who's like, can I just nudge you outside of your frame for a minute?
Yeah.
And let's step into future Brian problems or future me problems.
Right.
What risks are going to be up there? And you're like, oh, risks. I'm thinking about like, how can I keep my kids from disobeying mom? And how can I pay my mortgage this month? And a helpful perspective.
Yes. So market crashes. So let's get into, first of all, what markets? Gold, real estate, stock market, whatever. All markets are rigged. So we have to realize we're in Babylon.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all rigged against us.
Yep.
Okay. Now, therefore, what do we do? Okay. So if we try to go into, I'm going to go into this market over here that's not rigged, you're not going to find it. Doesn't exist. Okay. You put all your money into cash. Well, that's a guaranteed loser. Right. So there is no such thing as no risk. There's no such thing as not rigged.
Yeah.
So we have to get away from trying to find that.
Yeah. There's no perfect market that's not touched by sin today.
No, correct. Right. We live in a sinful world.
Yep.
I mean, where is gold controlled? In London. The price of gold is controlled in London. You want your stuff controlled by London? Okay. So there's all kinds of things out there that are risky. So what can happen? Things can crash. Okay. So you got to have a plan for a crash.
Yeah.
Okay, so we develop plans for crashes, and there's lots of ways to deal with that. And we'll talk about that more in the after hours on how to deal with that, because there's multiple ways on that. So what do in a crash? Okay, what about health on the way there? What if you can't earn an income?
Yeah.
Okay, what if you die early? Okay, what if you lose your job, not because of health, just you got laid off?
Yeah.
Okay, or government industry changes, and so things change, or technology changes, and you were a computer programmer, and boom, you're gone because the AI took your job. You didn't you thought you were the most stable, forward-looking, and boom, you're out.
Yeah.
Right? So there's things outside of our control that we should plan for.
Yeah.
Not just short-term emergencies, but long-term.
Yeah.
Okay, what about taxes? What are tax rates going to be 2 years from now? Let alone 40 years from now. Right? We don't know who's going to be the next president. And if you look back just previous when Kamala was campaigning, she campaigned on taxing unrealized gains. I can't tell you one of the most evil things in the world, unrealized gains.
Didn't that just pass in some
Yes.
European country?
Yes, correct.
Unbelievable.
It's going to destroy them.
They're going to lose every billionaire in the country.
Correct.
Because it kicks in like 2027.
It's stupid.
The billionaires are going, okay, we've got until 2027 to have a different zip code.
Yes.
What a foolish and wicked.
Correct.
Which is usually they go
That's
hand
correct.
in hand.
That's correct. So, but we want to plan for what if tax rates are worse or better than today.
Yeah.
If you look at income and capital gains tax rates, we're in a lower time frame than history. Obviously there was a time without income tax.
Yeah.
There was a time without capital gains tax. And there was a time without national debt. We've actually had that. And there was a one-term president that took our debt down to zero because everybody hated him because he wouldn't give them any money. So they didn't vote him back.
So he was a one-term president.
One-term president.
He didn't use the bribery knob
That's right.
effectively enough.
Yeah.
Wow. That sucks, actually. It sucks that that's true.
Yes.
There you go.
So there's no perfect tool. So
Yeah.
what do you do when the stock market crashes or the gold market crash like we've had recently, unfortunately, and the silver market crash, or like we're in a real estate pop that we're going through? Like my house lost a third of its value in the past couple years.
Yeah.
Okay. It happens, unfortunately.
Yep.
So we have to plan for crashes. Okay. You got to plan for taxes. You got to plan for health, long-term care. Long-term care is one of the most expensive events that can happen if you need in-home care. A lot of people say we'll just take care of each other, but that's a full-time job.
Right.
You need respite and be able to hire people for that. So very expensive event. How do we prepare for that? So that's the forward thinking in retirement time.
Yeah.
Planning on that. And so therefore, once you get through that, then coming back to today, where do you put money today?
Yeah.
Right? And that's not a one size fits all.
No.
Because everybody has different situations.
Different number of
from
people to care
benefits.
for. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Different opportunities for growth of money, in different inheritance coming or needs coming from parents. Or in the same thing from siblings, or, have to take care of them because they're not taking care of themselves well. So there's not a one size fits all. Anybody gives you cookie cutter, everybody should do this answer is just pumping a product.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that from what I'm hearing as a layperson, I'm hearing positive use of money. There's investment, there's planning, there's, what are you going to do with that dollar? How are you going to diversify it? And then there's also de-risking. How can what insurance should I have?
Sure.
How much of it should I have? How does it correspond with my goals? And for, we've talked about this importantly, for the duties God has given me.
Yeah.
Because those are the things that you should care the most about.
Yes.
How is my wife going to make it if I die tomorrow? Before my grand plans all come together and when we're still finding chairs on the side of the road.
Yes.
So part of where do you put your dollars is also, we've worked together. I have life insurance now.
Yes.
From listening to you and saying, how can we make sure that Lexi and the kids, and there's a lot of them.
Yes.
Also, what about if she goes? Because it doesn't mean my kids don't need a lot of stuff.
Yep.
That she's currently, my wife, if you hired people to take over her jobs, it would cost about $6.7 million a year. And it would still not happen nearly as well because they're not mom.
Right.
But like all of these things they're eye-opening to look forward at in a time when you're often, I'm still feel like this all the time. When you're looking at your own feet in front of you, just to keep your feet on the path and not fall down the ditch on the side of the road.
Yes.
Counsel's important on these things.
I have multiple clients that are widows. I have no widowers,
Yeah.
but I have multiple widows that are clients that the husbands were alive as clients.
Yeah.
Every single one so far, the widow brain turns off for a minimum of a year.
Yeah.
The longest I've had is 5 years.
Yep.
The shortest I've had was 1 year, where they're literally, we put a whole plan together, okay, and some life insurance executes, you have a liquidity event, and like, I just need you to push a button right here. We did all the planning, push a button.
Yep.
They're like, I can't push the button. Like literally, push this button. Nope, nope, we've talked about it for all this time. Nope, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So their brains turns off, and the wolves come out, and so it's intense during that time before they can start to regain some semblance of understanding and move forward. So absolutely, they need time. They need money for that time.
Yeah.
Type. And how do they do that? Yeah. The worst answer I ever got was, so there's a subsection of people and a subsection of that are the worst in financial planning. So I have clients of all kinds and shapes and sizes and philosophical positions and voting ideas and et cetera. The absolute worst are Christians, unfortunately.
Dang.
And the subset worst are elders.
Oh no.
Sorry, this is not a no.
That hurts.
So where I'm going is the worst answer I ever had was from an OPC minister.
Yeah.
When I came to his wife didn't work and stay-at-home mom, and he said, I am broke. I have no money. Family has no money. Outside family has no money, and I don't need insurance because if I die, the people in my church will take care of my wife and kids. I'm like, forever? Like, how many are you supporting right now that have that? Are you fronting that? Or are you only putting that on them?
And think of the disordered biblical thinking, because it says that the family is first in line.
Yeah.
And that's you when you're a husband. You are the family. Yeah. They're first in line before the family of God steps in and takes up the slack, which they can do and help.
Right.
But what an unkindness to your church even to say, my plan is everybody else is going to take care of my responsibilities. Well.
Do they know that?
I hope that do you have it in writing? It's like, that's a bummer.
Yeah. So there's an actual cheat code. If I flip to the other side, how do we be productive?
Yeah.
And how do we grow? There's a cheat code that God gives that you guys talk about in other episodes. You just don't use this term. But there are other groups of people do this really well. Okay. And that is actually having excellence in your work and hiring your own people.
Yep.
You got to have the first one. If it's just hiring your own people without excellence, shame on you. Shame on those workers.
Yeah.
Right. But if we have excellence, and then where do we go for labor, for income, for employees, for clients? Like, we should be hiring in here. We should be hiring our clients.
Yeah.
And if we do that, we'll explode.
In-group preference.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an actual cheat code God gave us if we'll use it.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the if I switch into a little more practical,
sure.
One of the problems that I see for clients is titling of assets.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I mean by that is, how do you actually own the asset?
Yeah.
And how do you put the beneficiary on there? Super common mistake I see all the time with people is avoiding legal expenses that are unnecessary, avoiding taxes that are unnecessary. Okay, here's a little perfect example. If someone wants to give some of their estate to a church or to a 501c3, right? If you give a pre-tax asset to a church, when they receive it, they don't pay tax on it. So you can have no tax in, tax-free growth, and tax-free spend. Tax-free all the way across, if that's the goal for that asset. But some people just put, give to the church 10% of my estate. Well, when you do that, legally, they have to give 10% of every single individual asset to accomplish that, and therefore it's tax inefficient.
Interesting, okay.
And then you could just say, give the pre-tax asset to the church, and then the tax-free asset to the kids. Right? Then you just divide it. It sounds simple, but most people just, unfortunately, most plans are just, let's do simple and easy and quick, rather than think through of that.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right. Kids. Okay, so it's kids titling. If you name a kid, you can, but if they inherit young 18, the money will go into a trust for them until they turn 18, and then they'll get it. Or if all you have is a will and you don't have a trust, okay, kids will inherit when they're 18 if both parents die. Okay, how do you want 18 inheriting hundreds of thousands without dad and mom? Not good. You can actually you can point assets into the very simplest beginning is a revocable living trust. And then in that trust, you can slow release the assets, like 10% at 18 and 10% at 25 and the rest at 35 or whatever. So you can, with a trust is private, or without a trust, a will is public. Okay, so think of all your assets being public accessible. Who looks at public accessible assets? Sharks.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay, they go see your dead, they see all your assets, and they need to go hit.
Let me sell you this magic thing.
Yes, they get preyed on. A type. But if your assets go through a trust, it's immediate. Don't have to pay a lawyer to probate it. And then it's private. And you can slow release it and protect it. You can add extra things like, okay, if they're on drugs, they don't get it, or until they're X amount clean. Or if they have special needs, you can use a special needs trust to protect their estate from being ripped off by the government. There's all kinds of extra tweaks you can do, but you can also just do some basic stuff. And it's cheap. You can get cheap done for any family. Any family who has kids should have a basic irrevocable living trust.
My favorite thing in life is to figure out something that I am not good at and don't want to be good at because of how much work it takes to get good at it. And then a trustworthy person and say, I don't need to figure out how to do all this. Can you just tell me what to do?
Yeah.
Which is why you're here.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to overstate how important that not just in financial planning, but you think at New Christian Press, there's a million examples of this where I love it when we find a guy who is not twice as good, but 50 times as good as me or Eric or whoever at something that we know we need to do, graphic design, whatever it is.
Yep. You
find that guy and you say, don't bottleneck it at me. Tell me what and why. Yes. And the missing ingredient, the difficulty with financial planning, and I think a lot of people are thinking this now in this episode, maybe they're like, okay, yes, that's true. It's the trust piece.
Yeah.
It's the trust, because like you said, how many sharks are there in the water? The second they see the opportunity to get into somebody's inheritance plan or their investment plan, and all of a sudden it's like, this wasn't in our notes. If we can't talk about it, then we can't. That's fine. We can edit it out. But how do you communicate to a client? Say, why should I trust and hire you? Yeah. What's the resume here? What's the reason why with all of these decisions that, frankly, any one of them you could research for several days and still probably not. You would have a cursory understanding of trusts and tax efficiency and inheritance and life insurance. And at the same time, when you go to research, 50 gurus are all telling you the real solution is to buy my product. It's crazy, but it's to buy my product. How do you walk through that trust issue with clients?
So I'm kind of blunt.
Yeah. Which I appreciate.
But thank you. It comes from, I believe, being in charge of combat troops, you don't have time to play games. Mm-hmm. Some people don't like it, and they can go find someone else. Mm-hmm. So I'm open to questions. When I talk to people, I literally say, any question you have is on the table.
Yeah.
Just ask.
Yeah.
If you have a question, I expect you to ask, because I can't answer questions that are not asked.
Right.
So ask questions and I'll give you a straight answer. Mm-hmm. And you may not like it.
Yeah. What's the return net of fees? How do you make money in this exchange?
Let's go.
How do all of those are some big questions that people, they might not even know to ask, but those are the things my mind goes to as like, wait, why should I care about this guy's advice versus this guy?
Sure. Okay. So let me rabbit trail.
Yeah.
Things I can talk about, but you're right. They're not in the notes. How do I get paid? Okay. Yeah. So I am a broker in the insurance world.
Yeah.
Okay. Insurance is flat in cost. I don't care who you talk to, you're going to pay the same thing.
Yeah.
Life, disability, long-term care insurance. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can't mark the price up or down. Mm-hmm. Whoever sells it is going to get a commission from the insurance company they buy it through.
Gotcha.
And the commission flat. Yep. There's no way to adjust it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I get paid in insurance for that.
Okay.
Okay. Estate planning strategy stuff we do at no cost. Mm-hmm. So we don't do it by itself.
Okay. It's always with other services.
Right. You can go hire an estate planning attorney.
Sure.
Right. And if you need exotic stuff, you should go there.
Right? That's all they do.
Yes. And you always should go and look at everything with an estate planning attorney and a tax advisor, because this is not tax advice or legal advice, et cetera, for yourself.
Yeah.
But we have because I review estate plans.
Yeah.
And look, this is inefficient. I was just talking to someone a few days ago. Mm-hmm. They had their attorney give them easy button advice. I call this easy button. There's most of financial advisors, easy button advisors.
Yeah.
And they're saying, put all your assets into the trust. And I'm like, okay, let's not have the trust be the beneficiary. How about the wifey beneficiary? And then if the wifey dies, then go to the trust.
Okay. Yeah.
What are the benefits? So let's just put the house into the trust. Well, you may lose your homesteading exemption if you do that. Yeah. Be careful. So it's not an easy button just to push everything into the trust. Mm-hmm. But if people don't know, and the lawyer said to do it. Well, let's look at the ramifications of that. Yeah. And go in with open eyes, and then make a decision with understanding with what you should do, and talk to the estate planning attorney.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I get paid for insurance.
Yeah.
People can write me a check for my time. Joe, I just want to talk to you and do my own thing. I just want access to your brain. Sure, write me a check. We can set that up. Okay. Yeah. And then I do get paid on assets. If you want my team to actually do the assets ourselves in the public and the private market, we get paid on that.
Yep.
And that's a sliding downward scale. The more it is, the less it costs per unit.
Yeah.
Type of thing, right?
Yep.
The opposite of taxes is a sliding downward scale.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we actually household family members. So if sister, brother work together with us, well, we'll join them together. So they
Interesting.
both get acted like they have more money and pay reduced fees.
In the fee.
Type
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So you're always with two things come to mind. You're, as an advisor for the future, you are not actually God. So, which is very obvious, but important to say. So no financial advisor can say, if you do this, this will happen.
No.
They can always say, here's historic performance net of fees.
Correct.
This is how we've done.
That's right.
But hey, no
That's right.
promises.
Can't.
The world could blow up tomorrow.
That's
the whole
correct.
stock market could go. You
Yes.
don't know. You're not God. I think that's important. But being able to tell people that transparency piece of them, like you should want to know how your financial advisor makes a living, and you should also want him to make a living,
Right?
Because he's worth.
wants some
He's
help.
reading all the tax books. You don't want to do that. So you have to pay somebody to do that. But at the same time, being clear on that, and then also at the same time saying, oh, I know this guy's not a charlatan. He's not actually saying, buy my easy button product. And then you look into the product and you say, well, it turns out the product, it's crazy. It makes him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then it costs me a lot of money, and it performs worse than if I had just thrown a dart at some stock market charts.
Correct.
And
that's out there.
And I've heard many of them, even just transparently, people want to advertise with our podcast from time to time in financial services. And we've learned really quickly which questions to ask.
Good.
Because last thing I want to do is say, hey, go trust this guy with your inheritance plan. And then it's like, oh, maybe that guy was well-meaning even.
Yeah, sure.
But he wasn't helpful.
Sure.
Or he was actively harmful.
Yeah.
So, it's a responsibility for us too, that I think is a big part of it.
So there's terms in the market called alpha and beta. Okay. So an alpha of 0 means that your assets grew equal with the market.
Okay.
A better term is weighted alpha. Because anybody who puts 100% of their money into one little sector is silly. That's inappropriate risk. So you want an alpha weighted by the percentage of the sectors, because different sectors grow at different times.
Yeah.
So weighted alpha is even better. Okay. So a question that should be asked is, do you have a weighted alpha that's positive or negative?
Yeah.
I can't say what mine is. Probably guess. Okay. And weighted alpha net of fees.
Yeah.
Oh, that means that the money's growing faster than the market after you paid the advisor.
Yeah. Yeah. Even after he gets what he should for his work.
Gets paid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then beta is a measure of volatility.
Okay.
So a beta of 1 means you get the same volatility, and people are primarily worried about down.
Yeah.
Okay. That the market. So if your beta is less than 1, that means you have less down.
Okay.
It's nice to have more up and less down.
Yeah.
That's really cool. If you have alpha that's positive and a beta less than 1, then you're smoking.
Then you're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the questions.
There you go.
Hey, financial advisor, last 5 years, last 10 years,
Yes.
how have you done?
Yes.
And then if they get really evasive,
There you go. If they don't want you to ask that question,
let me Google that.
if they him and haw,
Yeah.
or if the easy button is just everything into a mutual fund.
Yeah.
Well, then your alpha is going to be negative because you're charging a fee and you're just getting the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might be stable and it was simple.
Right. Oh, that's the easy button.
Yeah.
If people don't know, they don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
So it's.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So I derailed us, but
Yeah.
that was just something that came to mind. I think it
Perfect.
was worth
Perfect.
thinking through.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. You got it.
Awesome.
Well, what else do people need to know about how you're thinking through this backward planning, setting up their household? Whether someone listens to this episode and says, I'm going to call Joe and and ask him to help me out personally, or even just good counsel, you'd want them to know either way.
Yes. One of the things that I wish we all that get old, like us, we wish we'd go back to our younger selves and kick ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is why we try to educate the younger folks, and then they don't want to listen to us as much because we're not smart. I was that same way when I was younger.
We've been in there.
So one of the biggest things is start growing an asset when you're young. There's 3 ways to grow money. Okay, the 3 wealth building tools. There's time, there's people, and there's money. You got to leverage time, you leverage people, or you leverage money. And when you're young, you absolutely have time. And if you just go do some research on compounding,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Even if you do easy button stuff with the kids, okay, the growth is crazy when you start looking at it with proper time. Which when you look at it 50 years, but think about generation. Look at it 100 years and 150, and your heads will explode. Just go get a financial calculator, right? When you're 12 and put in $100 a month or something silly, right? But that is one of the biggest things that I wish I would have known, and that I try to get people to do to get their kids to start investing young.
Yeah.
Plus, they can learn about money and just not have its growth benefit. Delayed gratification, something nobody likes. I don't care where you are.
Doesn't matter. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Right?
I want this cut to be over, and I want to eat the donut.
Yeah. I was there at the after party. You literally said to yourself, don't eat the muffin, Brian.
I said it out loud. I said it out loud, and I needed to hear it. But no one else was going to tell me, so I had to do the job. Like, I had to step up. So true.
So delayed gratification for kids when they're young, and have parents help bless that. That's part of an inheritance that you can start just dribbling a little of money and then showing them how it grows. And then if they lose some, okay. They learn, like, wisdom also can be grown and exponentially. So another massive problem, I see at all sizes. I have clients that are small. I have clients that are very large. Taxes. Being simpleton in their tax planning is crazy to me. And most tax planners or tax executors, the CPAs and EAs that are out there, don't strategize with clients. Okay, this is what you paid. But they don't say, well, if we adjust it like this and do these things, well, then you reduce your taxes. But my very first podcast I did on Now Brutal American, it was called Hard Man at that time, May of 2023, I believe is when it is talking for an hour about taxes and how to give to a 501c3 or a church, and just how to route money through that and reduce your taxes. That is what the wealthy do. They absolutely legally reduce your taxes. I'm going to steal something from Tim Six. He said the tax code is a book of incentives. Yeah.
It's telling you how to do it.
Yes.
But we just don't read it.
We are called to be shrewd. One of the semi-joking phrases, are we called to be wise as doves? No. We're called to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Well, to be wise as a serpent means you don't just pick the straight path, right? The most efficient path isn't the straightest path, right? So we have to reduce our taxes legally on how we grow money. And I'll talk about that more in just a little bit about some mindset on that. But that's a huge miss is just needlessly paying taxes. Okay. If you're a business owner, hire your kids. Have them do the work. You'll teach them how to work honorably, and you can have them legally earn money at a reduced tax rate, and then put dad hat on it and control how they spend it. You're not giving them the money. That's not what I'm saying.
A lot of nepotism at New Christendom Press.
Awesome.
I'm going to tell you right now.
That's great.
And I'm just looking forward to it because my kids are just maybe getting old enough to start some serious nepotism.
Yes.
And it's like, what do you think this is for? It's for my kids. It's for our people. It's not just nepotism in the family. It's also in-group preference in the church. But it's cool to align those values where it's like, hey, I don't want to pay the government more than I actually have to. To go bomb Ukraine or whatever they're up to with it. And also, I want to keep as much of it blessing not just like my future household, but also the households of this thing called Refuge Church that I love. So how can we do that? Turns out that book of incentives,
there you go.
It has a lot to say about that.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I think one of the most evilest taxes that are out there is estate taxes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are ways to legally avoid it if you plan ahead. Now, we currently, I say currently, because this is an adjusting number, the estate tax at the federal level for a couple is just rounded 30 mil. Okay. It has recently, in my lifetime, and my adult lifetime, been at 1 million.
Really?
So imagine you got a life insurance at 2 million.
Evil.
Yes.
Oh, that's so evil. When you're like, I died at 40 and I had this $2 million life insurance to get my wife through, and the government comes and they say, give me.
Yes.
Give me.
And the tax
knowing
she's
going to go spend that money and produce other taxes. Like, it's not as if she's going to be unproductive with it. They don't care. They just give me.
Yes.
Oh.
So one of the simple things you can do to avoid estate tax is called an irrevocable. Hear that word, irrevocable, right? Can't revoke it.
Yeah.
Irrevocable life insurance trust. It's a unique type of trust that the death benefit is outside of your estate. So you can take that $2 million policy, you put it into an ILET, and then when you die, and there's no estate tax on it, but then it goes to the beneficiaries and they can use that. But you got to set up an ILET. And how you set it up? Well, if you set up the trust first and then grantor money into the trust, right? And then the trust buys the insurance policy, it's immediately effective. But if you have an existing life insurance policy that you go and, hey, I should have this thing, set up an ILET, push the insurance into the ILET, now you have a 5-year clawback. That means if you die within 5 years, the insurance gets pulled out of the ILET and now it's taxed.
Yeah.
So you need to set it up correctly. And hopefully with the insurance trust first. There's unique types of trusts that you can put assets into them, and that the growth of the asset is now outside of your estate. Okay, so if you put a piece of land in it, it has all kinds of growth, or a business into it, and all kinds of growth, that you're only estate taxed on the value at the time you put it into the trust.
Really?
So you can have, I'm young and I have a large business. Let's put it into this and grow it and benefit the kids and not estate tax on that. There's all kinds of fun stuff that you can do if you plan ahead, not just wing it. And then if you really have money, we're talking 80 mil plus,
which many Bright Hearth listeners do.
Absolutely.
So go,
absolutely. 80 to 90%.
I would say 80, 90%. Yeah. I know the caliber of my people here. Let's go.
Then get into dynasty trusts.
Yeah.
And it's literally the word, multi-generational trusts that are glorious. They're expensive to run.
Yeah.
You got to hire an attorney to run them, but it's a way to gloriously have money to multiple generations. That's really one of the creme de la creme strategies that are out there. On that.
If there is a listener who is there and hasn't done that, as a personal favor, I want you to call Joe Garrisi, okay, for your needs, because I know 80 to 90% of you are here, but I know most of those 80 to 90%, you already have your dynasty trust.
Right.
But if you're in that small percentage that doesn't, help out our guy, Joe Garrisi, because he is, like this Christian family gets this stuff in ways that, man, like so many financial planners just don't get the whole picture. Maybe they're good at this, they're good at that. But what they don't bring together is that the Christian, the multi-generational vision, the doctrinal alignment, like all of that's there, and the competence, which is really important too. So
thank you.
Reach out to Joe.
Thank you. Coming back to mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the mistakes I see at all stages is with the assumption, hey, I'm healthy. I eat well. I exercise well. I don't do a risky job. Nothing bad will happen to me. They're called accidents.
Right.
Go look at the obituaries and see, these were all planned deaths.
Every one of them. They all planned ahead. They backward planned.
That's right.
No, they didn't. Not all of them. I mean, it sucks, but it's true.
I actually have in my brain an infamous list of people that I talk to. Please go get this insurance. They don't, and they're dead or permanently disabled. That type thing. And I don't feel bad for me because I told them what to do. Yeah. I was there. God put me into their lives, and they decided to say no, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's on them. If I didn't tell them what they should do, then I feel bad. Horrible.
Yeah.
But that's one of the smallest mistakes, easiest mistakes I see at all sizes.
It took me a long time to talk one of my good friends, whom I won't name. It's Ben Garrett, into getting life insurance. I was like, Ben, look at you, man. You're aging quick. No, I'm just kidding. He's super handsome, but he's now we're set up. He's on the path now. But I was like, Ben, you keep talking about doing a standing backflip. Man, I don't like. What if you only rotate halfway?
I know a quadriplegic in college that broke his neck going off a diving board.
Yeah, so let's avoid diving boards and let's do some backward planning.
Yes. Okay, let me grab a trail to a funny story for a second.
Sure.
Okay, so just ended up with an NCP conference, and after church we had a big picnic. So I don't know, roughly 2,000 people at this picnic.
Felt like it,
right?
Yeah,
it's huge. And so I'm sitting there, I got at the picnic table and having some food. And yes, I have permission to tell a story already. So Ethan Sen, who's a pastor here, his two little boys, James and Gus, come over to me without their dad, right? They come over and sit next to me. I think they're like 8 and 5.
Yeah, little guys.
Ish.
Yep.
Okay. But if you know the Sens, you know they're smart.
Very smart.
So little James comes up because they had just shown the video ad that you guys have put together for me up on the main screen. So he goes up and sits down, and he's eating this handful of cookies with the soda, and he's dipping them in.
To the soda?
Yes.
Oh,
gross.
that's unbelievable levels of degeneracy, but also game. Good for him. That kid's going places.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So he goes, Mr. Garrisi, I really enjoyed the video you did with Mr. Ben. Like, oh, that's nice. And Mr. Garrisi, are you on church discipline?
What?
I'm like, where'd this come from?
Where'd this come
It's
from?
hilarious.
He's going right to the heart.
That's right. I'm assuming, he's a son of an elder. He's heard that term in the world before. And I just killed his friend off, Mr. Ben.
Yeah, so he's thinking,
You got to be under church discipline.
surely this guy needs some correction. We got to cut at the end of this episode. We'll cut the ad in, even if it might already be here.
Oh, that's a perfect time.
But we'll make sure that it's there at the end so you can see, because it's a funny ad. Like, it's some of our best work, if I do say so. Evan killed it on that one. Ben,
Yes.
give him the Oscar.
Awesome. Awesome.
This is Dave. Dave is dead. When he wasn't, he was a successful businessman with a rather large estate. This is Ben. As Dave's son, Ben has just inherited a logistical nightmare. Dave wasn't exactly organized with his estate. Sorting through folders, receipts, and records, a hunting lodge in Montana, a 401k, lots of investments, several bank accounts, and of course, taxes. Ben was overwhelmed. Enter Joe Garrisi of Backwards Planning Financial. When Ben called Joe and explained everything, Joe replied,
No problem. That's easy.
and somehow it was. With Joe's guidance, Ben was able to put a robust financial plan in place which helped mitigate risk and bring order to the chaos, while building wealth, organizing his estate, easing the tax burdens, and cutting unnecessary costs. He helped Ben do something Dave never did: plan ahead. Starting at the end and working backwards, Ben now has a plan for his own family. Now his kids won't go through what he did when he eventually... Backwards Planning Financial. Start planning for your death before you're gone.
Okay, so coming back to leveraging.
Yeah.
So we talked about leveraging time when you're young.
Yep.
Right? We still have time. Okay, so I'm in my 50s, right? If I normal lifespan, I'm 25, 30 plus years, right? But do we plan for the end of our life? Right? Or should we be planning for our children and our children's children? Because when we look at multi-generational wealth, hey, what do you want to look like when your kids have kids and they're giving an inheritance to them? How do you want that money to be structured then? Okay, what tools do you want to use? And then what's the fastest way to have those tools be available then?
Yeah.
Right? We're talking decades of time. And that may not be the simple, obvious thing now because of how we're looking at it long term.
Yeah.
So that's leveraging the time, leveraging people. Okay, that's business owners. Those of us that take risk, okay, and hire Christians. If you're a Christian, you're not working hard for your boss. I don't care if they're a Christian or not, shame on you. If you are, awesome.
Yep.
Okay, because we working for Christ. That's who we are working for.
Yep.
And that's why we should be doing a good job. But leveraging people is how you have expertise and then you leverage it through multiple people and you can grow your wealth
Yeah.
and have it be your kids even better that you do that. A common thing that I talk to people, because I get calls all the time, is that people have an income problem. Super common problem is an income problem. And they have a family. Like you have an income problem and you have income generators and they're not generating income. Okay, let's merge them.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I hear all the time, well, I can go get a second job or I can work more at my job that's away from my wife and a family. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that'll give you more money, but then you're not spending time with the family.
Yeah.
So how can you start a business or a side gig or et cetera that you can do with the family?
Yeah.
And now it's just increasing wealth, but now you're teaching job skills, enjoyment of work, and the love of that, and you're getting to spend time with them and mold them, and now that's glorious.
Our friend Adam Madden, he wrote The Productive Household.
Perfect.
He wanted to do that, and it's like the least sexy business. He said, I'm going to get into the dog kennel business. And guess what? Now in multiple locations of a dog kennel business, right now I know it's full.
Awesome.
Because one of our guys works for him too. And it's like high season summer, dogs are on the kennel.
Yes.
Every slot filled, great business. employing multiple family members.
Yes.
And it was like, nobody really is that passionate about dog kennels, but that was creative.
Yes.
Fatherly rule, put a lot of work in. And now look at that. Like, who would have predicted in your life if you're 20, no one says, I'm going to be a dog kennel entrepreneur.
Awesome.
Could be anything like
Yes.
that,
Yes.
but the family can work together at it.
Yeah. Your 5-year-old kid can scoop poop.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. They said, what business could a 10-year-old help with?
Yes.
Dog kennel is one of them.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot
Love
of these. They have multiple,
Yes.
but that's the kind of thinking we love here at Bright Hearth and New Christendom.
Yes. Awesome. So you can leverage money. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about mindset for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I really want to group the kinds of financial mindsets into 3 big groups.
Yeah.
There's the poor mindset that will always be poor. The Bible says the poor you always have with you. Mm-hmm. So if we try to solve the poor, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Not going to happen, right? Because some people are lazy. Mm-hmm. And what does the Bible say? They shouldn't eat. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I can't help those that won't help themselves in that arena. Now, if you're working hard, great. Most people, I grew up with the middle class mindset. Put money into tool, watch it grow, spend later. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Most common, Dave Ramsey's a big proponent of this. And what is the favorite tool of the middle class mindset is the Roth IRA.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Because it goes tax free. And they're all about tax avoidance rather than, well, what's more important? 100% avoidance of tax or the multiplication of your net worth. Mm-hmm. I would rather have a bigger net worth and pay more taxes along the way, but the net worth is bigger. Mm-hmm. The post net or the after tax net worth is what I'm talking about. So the middle class focus on avoiding all taxes, not the focus on net worth. Roth IRA is a wonderful tool. I have one. Okay. On that. Now, what the wealthy mindset do, and Elon Musk did a perfect example of this when he bought Twitter, is that he didn't put up a single dollar of his money and bought Twitter. Mm-hmm. Okay. He put up his stock in Tesla as collateral for a loan, borrowed against it, and bought another asset. Or other people's money is the way that we talk about. So you can absolutely do this if you use what's called a non-qualified account. Okay, so every type of account out there is either qualified or non-qualified. Qualified means restricted access, think retirement accounts.
Yep. IRAs,
401ks, pensions, simple, SEPs, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You cannot use those accounts because they're creditor protected. You cannot use them as collateral. Banks won't do it because they can't go get it if you don't pay your note.
Right.
Okay. So a non-qualified account, think of your regular savings account. You can put as much money as you want in, take as much money as you want out. No restricted access to it. You have to pay tax along the way. That's a negative to a non-qualified account. Got to pay tax along the way on the realized gain.
Yep.
Okay, but you can invest that money, right, and grow it. And if we use Dave Ramsey math, because I can't guarantee rate of return, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 12% rate of return on average. All right. Current interest rates on loans are roughly 5.8 to 6%. Okay, so you can grow money at 12. Long-term average, yes, it can go down in the middle of the year, et cetera. Okay, but you can borrow against it at 6 and invest it again. The invested again can be anything. I got a client that bought a horse. Okay, you could buy anything with it. There's no restriction. You can go buy if your jam is real estate, or if your jam is gold, or your buddy is starting a company and you want to invest into it. I've had all of these of clients and more. Why do one-dimensional money? Why just take your money and put it into that one thing? Instead, let's grow it in the market. Okay. And then borrow it against it and do your secondary thing. Now, this is risky. You're leveraging money. If the market goes down and your other thing crashes, you have to have risk and be able to cover that. This is not advice. You have to be careful what you're doing, of course. But this is what the wealthy do. They use the same dollar multiple times. And this is why their wealth exponentially grows faster than the middle class. You would think, well, we're just both investing and we're just going to both be growing. Nope. They're thinking dynamically on how it works. So it's super common for us to do that. And then one of the dynamic investments we can do is in the private market. Okay, you have to have certain qualifications to have different levels of privates and et cetera versus the publics. The publics, everybody with $10 can go invest. There's no restrictions on the publics. But as an example, SpaceX just went public just a few days ago, right? And so we were buying SpaceX for clients in the private market type of thing, but you had to be in the private market to buy it. And the growth on it was stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't Elon Musk go from first trillionaire to another trillion in like 36 hours or something?
Stupid.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, paper gains, but still.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And he's providing jobs and he's providing wealth to many people.
Yeah.
What a glorious trickle down.
Yeah, he's making custodians
thing.
millionaires.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me come back to and help me not forget the trickle effect, is I really think this is a biblical thing that we should be considering. But another way people can use that same account is tithing. You can have the same account growing, borrow it against it, and then when you have a gain, you can tithe out of it. And so now the tithing costs you less cash flow. You still tithe the same amount, but why not have the market help pay your tithe?
Yeah.
The church receives the same. You get to borrow against it and invest it again. Now you get to use the same dollar 3 times. So there's what I'm talking about. Mindset is, yep, you pay more taxes, but the growth exponential is so much more than the taxes you paid.
Yeah.
You have to be able to handle risk. Not everybody can handle that. There's easy button. You want an easy button? There's easy button stuff for folks. But for those of us that like risk, there's even riskier stuff we won't get into than that within there. Okay, so the ripple effect. This is what I believe when we're investing money, I don't care where it is, that we are called to have a ripple effect. And this comes from the parable of talents. You have 3 types of guys in the parable of the talents. And the evil servant was the one that did nothing with their money. God gave them money, right? All the money that we have is God's, right? Everything we have is God's. Okay, so we are just stewards of it. And so he took that and buried it and bought something and set it on the side, did nothing. Well, that was the bank back then, right? Take your money, buy a unit, and do no ripple effect with it. Okay, but the good servants were the ones that risked the money. Risk means they may not have had a positive return. Okay, if you go read it, they actually took risk in the market of that time. They happened to grow the money and give it back to God and said you were an honorable servant.
Yeah.
So we are called to have a ripple effect on our investments. Okay, whatever the investments should be, is there a benefit to other people? That's what I mean by ripple effect. And there's all kinds of ways to invest that have ripple effects. So there's where I think one thing that we should look at is, are we actually having a multi-person effect on the investments that we're doing? Type stuff. Okay, we talked about inheritance. One of the biggest things is helping people. If you have this non-qualified account and you want to help your 22-year-old son that just got married, and you're like, but I have all my money saved for retirement. You could borrow against it. You're not having to burn the asset, borrow against it. And here you go, son, here's a down payment for a house or buy a house. Or how about, here, I bought a business, so now you have a job or et cetera. What a glorious way to be able to accomplish and use your money in a multiplication effect and help the next generation rather than only after you're 59 and a half and have access to the IRA at that time. So it's a wonderful way to help that also with your money growing. A common thing that we do is, hey, if you can't pay back the loan, because yes, there is a loan rate, right? Current, and it's an adjustable rate. So, right, it just goes up and down. Oh, careful, up. Okay. Is commonly we'll just use gain of the market to pay off the loan. And we'll do this in an irregular basis. Why? Because the market grows irregularly. Right. And when it goes down, you have to be able to make sure that you don't have a margin call. You borrow too much, you get we need some money. You got to be careful how much you borrow. But it's a common thing we're doing is doing that. Okay, so let me tell you one of the fun strategies that we do with folks that have liquidation events. Okay, let's say they have a house, they sell the house and they net whatever, $500,000, $2 million, okay? Most people, the middle class thinking is take this thing, put down on the new house so I have a low to no house payment. Hey, the glorious thing is no house payment. Nope. Instead, they give us the asset, we invest it, they go get a full mortgage, okay? And then we pay their mortgage out of their assets. Because we're most often long-term going to grow. Can't guarantee, right? Of course, can't guarantee. Grow the money faster than their mortgage rate. But if they're a tither, let's say they're giving $20,000 in tithe, it's not enough to itemize if you're married. But then you have interest, right? Now you can tax deduct the interest
on the loan.
Yes. Okay. And so you can tax deduct that on the first $750,000 currently of mortgage, right? But you still don't have a mortgage payment because we're going to pay for it out of the assets. But your net worth is going to grow faster. Look at that net worth column. What is going to do well for that and your future generations? Not, hey, how can I have the easy button and have stress-free life? Because there's no such thing. Right? So what is the long-term effect of that? I am coming to one of the unique bents of me is that I am not an open market guy. Most financial advisors are, hey, we should be open market. That means we just want the flow of market, et cetera. That is the opposite of in-group preference. Well, there's different groups,
Yeah.
right? So one of the groups is America,
Yeah.
right? I'm America pro compared to supporting Africa, supporting Europe, supporting Mexico, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I'm not open market. I think we should do what's good for America first.
Yeah. Amen.
On that. And most financial advisors are open market, which I really believe if you hear open market, then you should hear nation agnostic.
Yeah. Yep. You should hear, I don't care if that company puts all of their manufacturing in
Yes.
Mexico.
Right.
I don't care if that.
Right.
Yep. And that is actively harmful to our own people, our
Correct.
own nation.
Correct. Yeah. So that's something that I think is important
Yeah.
when you're thinking about how you're running your money, who you're hiring, et cetera, on that. I wanted to talk another little unique aspect of what I'm able to bring to the table
Yeah.
new because of how I'm affiliated and et cetera.
Yeah.
There's a new investment sleeve. This is a
Yeah.
sleeve. It's optional.
Yeah.
And it's created by a guy called Robert Netzley. And he created a thing called Biblical Responsible Investing, or BRI for short.
Yeah.
There's 3 dimensions of this. One is actually choosing the stocks based on biblical principles, what you're buying, right? Trying to get out things like porn and et cetera
Yeah.
out of your portfolio.
Yep.
Okay. But if you do easy button stuff, you're not getting rid of it.
Right. It's
gonna
all
happen.
in there.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so 1, we're filtering that out. Number 2, we're actually voting the shares of stock based on God's principles.
Yep.
Okay, this is one of the major problems in the industry.
Yeah.
The Vanguards, the BlackRocks, the State Streets, the Guidestones. And I bring up Guidestone is because they are the place
Yep.
for the non-ERISA 403B or the retirement plan for the SBC.
SBC.
Yep. They actually have a worse voting record on abortion than BlackRock and Vanguard.
Which is absolutely insane. The SBC's pastoral, if you're a pastor and they're, hey, this
Yes.
is your 403B,
Yes.
it has a worse voting record than BlackRock.
It's crazy.
That's why. I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah.
So you get so this fund is voting the shares.
So we're actually taking the voting rights voluntarily. A client can keep it, right?
Right.
But we're voting with power. And let me tell you how we're using that. Some of the influence that we're having. So Costco pulled their abortion drugs because we approached them and said, "Don't do this."
We'll vote against.
Correct. We'll take our shares and say,
That's
"No,
wild.
thank you."
That's so cool. I mean, like, just talk about we've Christians talk a lot about how much money we control in
Yes.
America because
Yes.
allegedly there's a lot of us,
Right.
But then you look at why are all of the but why is all of our money voting for these things that we actually not just are neutral about, but we hate?
Yeah.
Well, it's because people are asleep at the wheel. How many people even know that they can vote shares? What that even is?
Minority percentage.
I mean, until you started talking about it with this example, I was thinking, I knew theoretically that that was a thing,
Yeah.
but there's a difference between a very large collection of us having a single point of contact like that
Yes.
and some guy saying, hey, I've got 15 shares here. Can I tell you what to do? And they'll say, well, sir, who are,
Right.
no.
Go away.
But they pulled it before it even got to a vote.
Yeah. So that was Walmart. So Walmart.
Oh, that was the one, yeah.
Walmart was bringing the health benefits
Yeah.
to include money for transvestite surgeries. That was going to come before the vote for Walmart for all the shares.
Yeah.
Okay. So we reached out to them and said, hey, that's not cool. We don't like that.
Yeah.
And they decided because we have enough oomph, they decided to not even bring it to vote. So it wasn't even an option before that. So that's the type of influence that we're having, real influence on companies out there. So we help our clients pool influence to do that.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's really cool.
Yes.
So trying to do it on the front end, trying to vote the shares.
Correct. So, we want to vote the shares and we also want to choose what we're buying. Okay. Doesn't have to have that. We don't have to do that. Not everybody wants that. I don't care. Right. If you want to do that, wonderful, glorious. If you want to just have us run another portfolio that's, agnostic to that, that's fine too. Right. Because all my clients do not think the same way. Right. We have clients of all shapes and sizes and we'll help them. And then we're going to treat them honorably and we're going to make a reasonable income off of that, which we're lower than industry standard.
Yeah.
And then we're going to use that money in the kingdom from where we hire and where we market and et cetera type stuff. Right. One of the last points, and I think this is a Stonewall Jackson quote, and I've been trying to find it but I've been failed at finding it. It could be wrong, but it was something to the effect of, I didn't want to have a life without hardships. I wanted to have a life that had a lasting impact. So okay to have hardships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And that is the mindset we should all have.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the Lord he's kind to actually, we say all the time, he custom fits your trials for you. If you're like, wow, I keep trying to get to this and I just keep having financial setback, or I keep having this, the answer is still trust the Lord. He's good. Yeah. He's custom making your trials to mold you to the image of Christ. And whether those are the trials and the stress of being one of those guys you are a 10 talent, and that comes with responsibilities a 1 talent guy never experiences.
Right.
Shoulders get maybe your shoulders get tired sometimes carrying extra weight.
Right.
Those are the trials God put in your life. And maybe you're not. Maybe you just can't seem to get ahead, and there are different trials in your life, but God has custom fit all of them for you. This is one piece of how, as Christians, we can be thinking, how can I push my Christian faith out to the edges of my life, bless my generations, bless my community, bless my church, be a blessing to others, and also glorify God in how I handle it. So I really appreciate your time coming into studio, especially, and giving us so much of your time. We'll have contact info for Mr. Garrisi in the descriptions that you guys can reach out, and whatever would be helpful for you, or if you're interested in just saying, hey, I've been doing this. Maybe it's an evaluation. Maybe it's you've never started at all and you need help. Maybe you're halfway through and you're like, oh man, I just heard some things I'd never heard before from my financial planner. Maybe it's insurance and you're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
You've just heard from Mr. Garrisi why he's a good asset, can be a help to you. And also with some transparency, like, hey, here's how Mr. Garrisi and his company pays their bills, which you should want them to do. But also in a way that, as we often say, the economy, when we think about it correctly, is the reification of love in goods and services.
Yes.
So that's when it's optimal. I'm loving my financial planner and he's loving me and everybody's happy, even when things are hard or go wrong or whatever.
Sure.
And not God can't predict the future, but that's what we're aiming to do. That's why we really trust him and use him personally. So, thanks again for being here.
Good to be here.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah. So if we didn't already put it in there, there's a hilarious and excellent ad that you need to check out. Just come to YouTube, even if you didn't already. But last point, we do have a bunch of great books out in New Christian Impressed. You should go to newchristianimpressed.com. The Productive Household, Killing Lust from Pastor Garrett. We've got Eric and I working on a book on the Longhouse. It might be in pre-order for all I know now. This is past Brian talking to current you. We've got a book from Andrew Isker on the seed of Abraham, on Zionism and some of these related issues. All sorts of, frankly, it's getting beyond my ability to keep up with all the good books and things coming out. So just go check it out. And if you like what we do here, then you can jump on our Patreon here at Bright Hearth and support us. Every week we put out these episodes early and ad-free, and then we also drop an episode of In the Kitchen, and I believe we're going to talk some more about that.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be an In the Kitchen. It's going to be an In the Studio instead. But we'll drop that from Mr. Garrisi and talk about it a little bit more. But thanks, guys, for listening. We'll catch you next time on Bright Hearth.